friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Advanced Bio Tutorial. Today's topic is symptoms and pathogenesis of dengue fever. Before starting the topic, we should know some terminologies related to this context. Those are symptoms. What is symptoms? What is pathogenesis? What is pathogenicity? And what is virulence? Okay. Now, we'll get the answer. Suppose this is the disease. Whatever may be, that must be a pathogenic disease, because disease may be of different types. That may be genetic disease or physiological disease. We consider only the pathogenic disease. Okay, suppose the signs which are manifested for this disease is known as the symptoms. So this sign can be regarded as the indication of this disease. So these signs are the symptoms of this disease. Okay, now pathogenesis. What is it? Say, how the disease is developed. This is the pathogenesis. That means the mechanism, the biological mechanism by which these symptoms is generated. That is, the disease is produced. That mechanism is known as the pathogenesis. It is a biological process. Okay, now pathogenicity. The ability of pathogen. So pathogenicity is an ability of pathogen to develop the disease. Suppose influenza virus. It has the ability to produce the dengue fever. Now, so dengue has the ability to develop this disease. So ability of dengue is known as the pathogenicity. So pathogenicity means the ability of pathogen to develop the disease. Now, what is virulence? Suppose dengue, den 1, den 2, den 3, den 4, etc. etc. I consider only two strains. Okay. Suppose den 1, this virus, this strain is much fatal, because by the infection of this virus, more infection rate, more fatality rate, more mortality rate. So whose ability is better? The dengue 1. It has the ability also. So it has the pathogenicity, it also has the pathogenicity. But this is the more virulent. That is the degree of pathogenicity. Okay. Now, I'll directly go to our topic, that is the symptoms of dengue fever with a PowerPoint presentation. Let's come to my computer screen. Thank you. Now, come to the symptoms of dengue patient. Symptoms. There are basically 4 phases of symptoms generated in dengue patient. Actually, these are the primary symptoms, these are the secondary symptoms, these are the warning symptoms, and this is the symptoms of critical phases. Okay. Now, let's see the primary symptoms. High fever, that means above 102 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. And some accessory symptoms are there. Those are headache. And this pain is just behind the eyeball. Okay. Then the muscle and joint pains and the nausea, vomiting, etc. is seen. And swallowing gland, mind that. That means the lymph nodes or lymph glands will be swallowed in this primary phase. Okay. Now, after this phase, or after 3 to 5 days of primary symptom is generated, then if the patient remains untreated, then what happens? The secondary symptoms will be manifested. Flat red rash is seen on the skin. All over the body it is seen. In the back portion of the body, in the faces, or in different portions of the body. Okay. And after generating this red rash, 2 or 3 days later, the second rash, that means these rashes becomes swollen. That is, these rashes looks like the measles. In Bengali, which is called, measles is called the hum. Okay. Now, if the patient is untreated, then the patient will go to the warning phase. Okay. And in these warning phases, the warning signs are developed. That is, after the 1 week or 10 days of this fever, the temperature will be decreased below 100 degree Fahrenheit. And then some accessory symptom, that is severe abdominal pain, vomiting is persistent, rapid breathing. Okay, that is short breathing. That means the level of oxygenation is lowered. And the bleeding gums. The bleeding occurs from the gums. Fatigueness, restlessness, and blood in vomit. These are also seen. Okay. And then the patient will go to the critical stage. See the symptoms. Plasma leaking, fluid accumulation, respiratory distress, severe bleeding, organ impairment. I'll discuss later. Okay, come on. These are the primary symptoms. See, this is the high fever. I have told it. And this is the headache behind the eyeball. Okay, and nausea and joint pain. There are some symptoms also. And see here, this marked portion, it is swollen. Okay, and you know, in this region, the lymphatic vessel along with the lymph nodes are present. Okay, these are the primary symptoms. Now, secondary symptoms. This is the flat red rash. Okay, you can see like this on the skin. And after 2 or 3 days, you can see the swelling of these rashes like this, like the measles. Then the warning sign. Bleeding from different organs of the body. From the gum, bleeding occurs. From the nose, nostril, bleeding occurs. From vomiting, bleeding occurs. Okay. And joint pains is persistent now. Okay. These are the warning signs. Okay. Now, critical phase. This is a dangerous phase. If one patient remain untreated and if that patient goes to this phase, then it is quite difficult to be recovered. Okay. Now, come to the critical signs. Okay. These are the fluid-filled bag. This is due to the plasma leaking. Okay. You can see the red spot on the eyeball, white eyeball, like this. Okay. And after some days, the bleeding occurs from the eyeball. Imagine how dangerous it is. Okay. Now, see the abdominal portion. It is swollen here. Why? Because the accumulation of fluid. The body fluid is accumulated in this region. And that's why if you see the X-ray plate, then like this. Nothing is seen here because the body fluid is accumulated here. These all are the critical signs. And not only that, different organs like the kidney and the spleen and the liver, different organs and the lungs, different organs will be impaired in critical phase. It is very dangerous. Okay. Now, this is all about the symptom. Come to my board. I'll discuss later. Let's start the pathogenesis of dengue fever. Okay. Now, you see there are some key symptoms of this fever, and now we'll know how these symptoms are generated. That means the mechanism of generation of these symptoms. Okay. Now come to the first point, that is fever, headache, pains. You know, whenever any antigen enters in our body, then what happens? Our body immune system will be triggered and our self-immunity will be grown, and for that some immune response will be elicited. Come to the point, immune response. Immune response is generated. And one type of immune response is inflammation. Inflammation. Okay. Now what is inflammation? Inflammation means one kind of immune system which is responsible for the generation of reddish or itching or sneezing. Okay, these are the inflammation or rising of temperature, body temperature, etc. etc. Okay, so these symptoms are due to this inflammation. This one due to the inflammation, and this reddishness, it is also due to the inflammatory activities. Okay, now it is clear to you. Now come to a point, that is low platelet level. The normal range of platelet level in human is 1,000 to 400,000 per ml of blood. Okay. And now in case of 80 to 90% of dengue patient, the PLT level, that means platelet level, okay, is less than 100,000 per ml blood. Okay, and 20% to 10%, sorry, 10 to 20%, okay, 10 to 20% patient, the PLT level is less than 20,000. Here is a huge dropping of platelet level. What is the cause behind it? This is due to the bone marrow suppression. Bone marrow suppression. What is bone marrow suppression? The dengue, that means dengue virus, is able to suppress the bone marrow within the bone. Okay, and we know the different blood cells are originated from this bone marrow. When this bone marrow is suppressed, then the rate of production of these blood cells will be decreased, including the platelets. This is the cause of low PLT level of dengue patient. Clear? Now, bleeding. Here I not discuss this bleeding. I'll discuss it in my another video, DHF, that means dengue hemorrhagic fever. There I'll discuss about the bleeding. Okay. Now come to the last point, that is plasma leaking. Okay. Now see. See, this is the plasma leaking. When plasma virus enters in our body through the skin after mosquito biting, then it reaches to the dermis layer of the skin. And suppose this is the dengue virus. Okay. Now this, in the dermis layer, there are some APC cell, that means antigen presenting cells. Suppose macrophages, dendritic cell, these are the APC cell. Okay. And inside the APC cell, this dengue virus enters. And there, this is the nucleus, and there the virus multiplies. Okay. And due to this cause, this APC interact with the T cell, that means T lymphocyte cell, and as a result the TC cell will secrete some cytokines, and this APC cell also secretes some cytokines. So these are the cytokines. Okay, cytokines. Okay, and these cytokines will enter into the blood vessel. Suppose this is the blood vessel. Okay, this will get entry inside the blood vessel, and these cytokines are responsible for the increase of permeability of this vessel. That means the vascular permeability will be increased. That's why blood plasma will be leaked through this vessel. That means endothelial space. Okay. So now the blood plasma get exit outside of the blood vessel. This is the plasma, and this is the mechanism of plasma leaking. Okay, now this is all about the symptoms and pathogenicity of the dengue. Okay, thank you all.